Welcome back to our second segment. This is What's Your Story, Africa. I'm Anthony Mwangi. You watched a few days ago a conversation we started with Anthony Mwangi. He's an industry giant. He's an investor in edtech, agriculture, highly respected in this part of the world. This is Africa. He has contributed to the growth and development of industries in this country. His heart is for Enterprise Kenya. Segment 1, in case you missed it, the link is somewhere here. I think that's what they say on YouTube. The link is here for the first segment. But on this segment, we continue with his background and some of the experiences that have shaped the economy of this country, as well as some of the adventures. So we are back, Mr. Anthony Mwangi.
Thank you.
Okay, so we were at the place where the last time, so we were at where the bureaucracy in government, how it makes it difficult to just, start to implement projects. We left off at oil. Was it Talu Oil, the company you worked for, and you had shared a few experiences there and the achievements you had, and also ease of doing business in Kenya. I remember that. After Talu Oil, where did you move to?
So COVID, of course, disrupted a lot of businesses, and our company was one of them. So we were let go. Did a few things. I still, was doing a bit of farming. Yeah. So, of course, COVID, grounded us.
Yes.
But I joined a company called Bolt.
Okay.
Bolt.
The
ride hailing or mobility.
Yes.
Very, very interesting business and very difficult business.
What was your role?
My role was, again, head of public policy for East Africa and the Horn. So adding Ethiopia, Djibouti, DRC, just looking at how to expand that. Obviously, we were very active in Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. There was a huge, hullabaloo about this, tech, this business model, because the drivers are complaining that they're not getting enough. So a lot of engagement and there was no law, operating law. So the policy perspective is that I'm involved in crafting the law, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, and especially Tanzania was much more aggressive on these, tech, and we got to a point where we almost shut down Tanzania. One of our competitors, actually the biggest, shut down because of just regulatory overreach by government, by authorities. And then citizens started complaining. The drivers themselves who were complaining they don't get enough. They went back to government and said, hey, call them back. But we had taken a deliberate decision ourselves to say, we're not going to shut down. We're going to do, much more engagement. But we were just like a month away from shutting down. And we knew once we shut down, the citizens themselves will ask for it.
Okay.
So when the citizen complained about the other one shutting down, so the business went up because these ride-hailing applications employ a lot of people. People who have other jobs do that on part-time basis, but there are people who do it on full-time basis. And sometimes you see if the driver is getting a certain percentage as if it is low, but these companies are actually loss-making companies, as it were, because it's a very, very difficult business.
Okay.
In this sense, so you have an app here, and that's why there are not many global companies doing this. Bolt, Uber, a few local guys, Yandex in Russia and other places, because you have a platform, you're sitting in the middle. You're a marketplace. You're connecting riders or passengers and drivers, all right? Drivers are not your employees. They are their private business. They're running their own businesses. You've just created a marikiti here in the middle, right? Now, if your app, what defines this business is what is called ETA, expected time of arrival, all right? If you search for a vehicle and the vehicle says 15 minutes, who is going to wait for that? So all effort is to make sure that ETA is within 1, 2, 3, 5 minutes.
Okay.
Okay? Now, for you to do that, especially when you're starting, you don't have passengers, you don't have drivers in the platform. So what do? You throw money at having the drivers on board the platform without doing anything because you don't have passengers. So you pump in millions of dollars to make sure the drivers are on the platform and online, and you pump in money to have passengers ride for free.
Wow.
You know?
Those discounts that we see.
Exactly. That is investment. You know, that's an investment. And you pump in multi-year pumping of money until you elevate both sides of the ecosystem to an equilibrium. So you have enough drivers, you have enough passengers. So many ride-hailing applications don't get there. Because the moment you come in and say, if you are new and you're searching and someone, 15 minutes, you go to the next one and the next one. And now the drivers have all the applications on their phones. So they will switch out the one that has passengers. So it's a difficult business.
So you were there for how long?
I was there for almost 2 years. Okay. Almost 2 years. Of course, Tanzania kept me busy. I was in and out of Nairobi to Dar almost every other month or every other 3 weeks. But also we did some interesting things with the Tanzanian authorities. So we got to a point and we started just to demonstrate value to the communities, the government, the markets that we work in. Said you need to be able to know how the citizens are moving.
Yeah.
Where are ONDs? What we call ONDs is origin and destinations.
Okay.
Where are they going to? What does this data say? So we're giving access to Tanzanian authorities, and we connected the BOL system and Tanzania system. And they have Tanzanians are very advanced, very robust systems, right? So every time in Dar es Salaam or in other place you ask for a ride, Tanzania government can see.
Oh.
Yeah. And mostly because of that data. What do you do with that data? If people are moving more to this direction, if people are living more to this side of the city, and you want to improve infrastructure, you can use that data to do that. If the people are moving to this direction or the other direction and there's always traffic, now you can start seeing why people are moving where they're moving to. Because these are undefined, what we call undefined ONDs. If you're going to Kisumu from Nairobi, the bus, Nairobi, it's written there, Nairobi, Kisumu. So Nairobi is a O, Kisumu is a D. But if you're taking a bus from here to Marikiti or to another place, these are very, very, and you want to just start using that data to make sense, because they say the data is the new oil. And that is what you're trying to use even at IBM to say, your data is more valuable than oil. Because, yes, if you look at traditionally, the biggest companies were ExxonMobil and Chevrons and Shell and BP. Today, the biggest companies are companies dealing with data.
Yes.
It's Google, it's Alphabet.
Yes.
It is, NVIDIA.
Yes.
It's just data, And the next ones will be AI companies and still data companies. Yeah. So how do we harness data? And maybe we'll come to that when I was at CAM, and we tried to create, a data analytics, for the government in terms of budget making process, right? I regret I moved before we could finalize that,
Okay.
but and maybe at a point to segue to that.
Yes.
So after that, I moved to CAM.
Oh, after BOL?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I moved from BOL to CAM.
Okay.
As a CEO. And it was quite interesting for me because I checked in to the industry. I was new to manufacturing. And remember, I also like, going to areas that I'm able to sit and learn, and you're vulnerable. You don't know, you're depending on people, and it creates an opportunity for you to learn, right? And this was big in terms of you have 1,300 members, you have 14 sectors, you have 53 subsectors, hundreds of subsectors. All right. So you talk about agri, you have all the way to groundnuts, peanuts. It's a subsector. It's a subsector.
You love peanuts.
Peanuts because it's small. Peanuts. But I love
Yes.
it because it gives people a very good description of how our economy is. So it was so I come in, and the new government comes in.
Okay.
All right.
Uh-huh.
We always look at and remember, I've just my job from KQ to IBM to Talo is dealing with governments.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's just looking at how do we engage with the new government.
Right.
So we've better plan here. How do we align better plan with our plans, right? And how do we create environment where you can be speaking the same language?
Okay.
Because if you speak different languages.
This is the current government?
Yes.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Yes. Because it came in August, September of 2022.
Yes.
That's when I joined as well. So quickly we started the engagements and a very heavy engagement, but also looking at what is the best way to engage. We've been accused as private sector. I'm not saying private sector, I don't mean big corporates. I mean, I'm a private citizen. You're a private citizen. So private sector is us, who are not in public, public sector. So I don't mean to say that I'm talking about the big corporates. This is a private sector because there are also SMEs within the association. So what is the best way to get better outcomes in your engagements with government? How do you work with the government for Kenya to enterprise KE to realize the goals, all right? So jobs. So how do we create jobs? And remember, we're in manufacturing. And manufacturing at that time was contributing what is defined, by data. And of course, I know there's much more out there. Almost 7.6% to the GDP. Okay, small or undesirable because we used to be at 12%. Other countries are in 15. China is at 30. Egypt is at 27%. So Kenya not doing well because the graph had gone this for the last 10 years. Okay, but doesn't mean it was shrinking. No, sometimes it's because it is stagnant. Other sectors are growing faster. Remember telco, how the telco has grown over time. From the time Safaricom, Airtel came into the picture. Remember the financial sector, the insurance sector, the banking. They have grown faster than manufacturing, but it doesn't mean it could have grown further, but it hasn't, right? So looking at how then do we grow and realize what is better plan talking about?
Okay.
From manufacturing standpoint. And we said, if we are going to realize the growth that we expect, then manufacturing has to grow by 3x year on year, if you're to realize that. But how do we create a plan that now will allow us to sit with the government and be in unison that this is the direction we are taking together? And we are actually quite successful. And I remember many night meetings with the Ministry of what they call a meeting, with the CS Courier then. And we came up with a joint plan called Kenya Manufacturing Agenda 20 by 30.
This episode is in partnership with Novotel Nairobi Westlands.
Okay.
All right? Why 20 by 30? We want to grow we want to get from 7.6% to 20% by 2030. But are we just talking? Or practically it is possible? And we said, if it is not possible, we don't talk about it because it doesn't, make sense.
Why talk about it? Yeah.
And many people, including members, they said, this thing is not possible.
Was it too ambitious?
Of course, you need to be ambitious. We don't want, if you're not ambitious,
In the
then don't be in the room, in that room, because you see, Is that like what used to be told when you're in school? You shoot for the stars, you reach the moon.
No, you're all shooting for the stars.
Yes, because and I remember the minister said, and it's true. It takes the same time to dream small and dream big. So why don't you dream big? All right? But we were very deliberate, and I organized the team and the members and said, we've now got to a point where we're meeting the head of state, and we have to organize how we're going to engage. And we said, guys, this is a new government. We've been accused of complaining. Oh, electricity is high, or blah, 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 or there's no road, or county charges, taxes. Say, during this meeting, there is no complaining. All right? There's no complaining.
But it wasn't complaints, it was factual.
It is, but you don't want to start engagement. You don't want to start on that note. You have to start on a, let's do together.
Right, collaborative.
Let's grow this cake together. Because people talk about sharing the cake. Nobody talks about growing the cake.
Baking the cake.
Baking the cake. Baking the cake.
Yes.
So, and we told sectors, different sectors. We designed slides, only 3 slides.
Oh.
Because if you give people 10 slides, they put, all manner of stuff that are not useful. All right? So the trick always is, just tell someone, I just need 2 slides.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Just 2 slides.
Keep it short.
Yeah. Because you see, now you distill information, right information. All these others are nice
Fluff
things to say,
yes.
Only 3 slides. And slide number 1 will be the opportunity.
Okay.
And the opportunity from this perspective, and we'll come and look at those numbers a bit. When you look at the world, what is the total available market? For instance, we're talking about textile and apparels.
Okay.
Everybody is wearing clothes, all right? Somebody is making those clothes. What in marketing they call total available market, TAM. And then, what is the serviceable available market?
SAM.
Okay? And then there is SOM.
Which is?
Serviceable. I've forgotten the middle one.
Okay.
But what you can actually operationalize. All right?
Okay.
And we coined another phrase that say, it doesn't have to be very complex. Let's look at the pie, pizza, all right? That is the TAM, that is the total available market in the globally. Let us look at the slice of the pie. That's slide number 1. Slide number 2, how are we going to grow our slice of the pie? Slide number 3, what are we going to do together, you, Mr. Government, and us, Mr. Private Sector, to make sure we maximize on our slice of the pie? Okay? So just park that for a second. Okay. Then we said, so how are you going to prioritize which sector? All right? And we said, we're going to throw them in a pool. And then come up with a formula. We came up with a formula. Said, your XY, remember your graph? Y, X. X-axis said level of effort. Okay? Y-axis, expected outcome. All right? So if you draw, these are kind of prioritization matrix. If you draw 4 quadrants here, because in your graph, where from 0 low, high, 0, low, high. Okay? Then you do 4 boxes. And you say, if effort is low, impact is low, just leave it. Okay? If effort is high, outcome is low, impact is low, just forget about it. Of course, you can't say that to the members because every member thinks,
There's
my sector is the most important.
Yes.
I say, look, this is a prioritization. And then if the effort is low, effort is low, expected, impact is high. That's a very good thing because that is what you call the quick wins, low-hanging fruits.
Okay.
And then if it is high, effort is high, and impact is high. Remember when I told you coordination of bureaucracy, that effort is high. Anything that cuts across 2-3 ministries, that effort is unimaginable because you're going to pull a lot of people in the middle of your noses,
Okay.
So that is what we call strategic bets. Quick wins, we focus on quick wins, strategic bets.
Okay.
And say it, these are long term, these are short term. Within 1 to 2 years, you can realize this one.
Okay.
Within 3 to 5 years, strategic bets. Then now we came up with sectors that met the criteria.
And this is what you are presenting to the president
Yes.
and the cabinet. Okay.
This is happening like in 3 days. All this is happening, going to happen in 3 days.
Okay.
So you're not sleeping,
No.
and you're coordinating everyone and reviewing all the slides, saying these numbers are not the same, their slides are better than the others, standardizing. Because we only have one shot here.
One shot, yes.
Right? If we meet and then he says, these people are a waste of time. That's it. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. So if I don't have a good show, I'll be cooked, and my son would say, I'll be cooked by the members, I'll be cooked by the government. So I would rather do the best. And remember that time you're also doing other logistics. You're doing the logistics of hosting a president is backbreaking because of the things that you need to do.
Yeah.
I've done that quite a bit, and it's backbreaking because of people you engage with.
Yeah.
And the complications that people bring. Sometimes they bring nothing on the table, but they complicate life. Okay?
Okay.
So we came up with some sectors.
3 slides.
3 slides, and everybody, 3 slides. We're still squabbling who is going to talk this, but we have a structure. We have chairs of sectors. The fact that you're the biggest in one sector and you're not the chair does not mean you're the one to speak. We have a defined structure here, but that comes at a lot of political challenge for me because they are big players
Who want to hold
who
the
wants to be the
microphone
one
and
to,
present.
and say their own things.
But they're not the chair of the
They are not,
subsectors, yeah.
Wow. So it is a political, from the corporate point of view, political, mind,
Suicide almost,
But you say,
suicide,
work has to be done. You can't please everybody.
No.
You have to do what is the best interest. There's a structure, you follow the structure. And member of entities within government want some other people to speak because they'll speak the language that perhaps, because they don't know what you're going to present,
Wow.
So, and you're saying, no, on this one, because there's this structure. So it comes that, these events come with a lot of, career suicide, moves. But at a certain time, you have to do what you have to do. But nevertheless, so sectors, let me give you a few examples.
Yes.
Take an example of a textile and apparels, right? Globally, as we said there, the pie, all the clothes that people wear globally, the market, that kiwanja market is $2.1 trillion. Okay? 2.1
Trillion.
dollars, not KS. KS.
Yeah.
What is our slice of the pie? How much are we selling, forget about domestic, how much are we selling out there in this 2.1? All right? $500 million. Does that number?
$500 million vis-a-vis $2.1 trillion USD.
Yeah. So
It's
it's
what we are
unquantifiable. It's a small speck in the global market. That shows you that the market is there. Okay? The problem is on the market. So how are we going to grow this size? And someone say, okay, because somebody is pushing to the world $2.1 trillion worth of textile and apparel. China is pushing 60% of that. Yeah, right? But forget about China is so big, so we always wanted to look at which country can we look at as a comparable country to show people that it is possible.
Which did you look at?
So look at Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a quarter size of Kenya, but has 175 million people. Bangladesh.
Okay.
Is a quarter of Kenya. All right? But has 174 million people. I'm privileged to have gone to Dhaka, what they call Dhaka, Bangladesh. Their industry, same way we're talking about, ours is 500 million. Theirs is 50 billion shillings, $50 billion.
USD.
All right? So it's 100 times Kenya. 5 million people, and it follows the same. So $50 billion employs 5 million people. Right? Controls almost 40% of Bangladeshi export is from textile and apparel. So that shows you this is a smaller country. All right? Much more pressure from the population standpoint. So they have more challenges than we do.
Yeah.
But they have been able to do this. So if we don't do anything else, and we say, we want to push, we are a bigger country than them, so we're going to push ours to 10 billion, forget about 50, $10 billion. And the industry actually come and say that this $10 billion is addressable, is a market that we can actually address. All right? Let's look at population. Let's look at employment. So we've said 50,000 are employed by EPZs, local employed about 21,000 directly. If you go to Jogoro, the big tailors everywhere, 21,000. About less than 100,000, both directly, domestic, indirectly. But look at other numbers. For us to export these 60 billion shillings, or these 500 million US, which you're exporting, what do we import? Fabric, yarn, threads, buttons, mutumba, put that together. 85 billion.
Worth of imports.
Worth of imports.
And our exports, 500 million.
60 billion. Let's now look local currency. Local currency. Okay.
Exports 60 billion.
Yes.
Imports
85 billion.
So it's a negative. What do you call that in economics?
So you have
It's a deficit.
you have if the export, because export is bringing revenue.
Yes.
Imports are jettisoning revenue.
Yes.
The pipe for outlet pipe is bigger. All right? But let's define this number. 20%. Sorry, 20 billion out of this 85 billion is Mutumba.
Nulink is a renewable energy products company with 20 years of experience in the renewable energy industry. Nulink designs and builds its own products and also works with partners to build complete solutions. Nulink covers a wide range of products including solar panels, inverters, battery packs, storage cabinets, charging piles, EV chargers, diesel generators, and UPS. Nulink focuses on the R&D and production of new energy products. By providing customers with leading safe and efficient energy storage solutions, Nulink accelerates the process of energy reform and helps more people realize economic and social value. Nulink's mission is to provide sustainable energy for the future through innovative storage solutions. For more details, please contact chris@nulinkhk.com.
Okay?
Okay.
Zimtumba. So let's flip this and say, this is slide 1, slide 2. So how can we grow this? All right? Number 1, we can build this textile from 500 million to $10 billion, because you have seen the problem is not the market. The problem is how competitive are we, and how can we invite more people to be able to invest in. And maybe with the whole of this organization about America First, perhaps. And it is possible because of this, which the game are being become better. AFCFTA, all right? Nobody is doing clothes at scale, all right? So we are comparable, South Africa, ourselves, you know, Ethiopia, Egypt. Egypt is doing quite a bit. America, or AGOA US, where 500 million is coming from the US anyway, so we just need to look for more market and then, because America is a big market.
Yeah.
EU has now opened. Economic Partnership Agreement, the EU has actually opened last month in July. So we have access to 27 new markets in the EU, quota-free, duty-free, okay? And this economy, the EU, is 17 trillion US dollars. So $10 billion from apparels is actually modest if we organize ourselves.
Yeah, because
All
it's
right?
low effort, huge impact and outcomes.
Yes. So you put together US market access, you put together AFCFTA, you put in EU market access now, you put UAE, you put UK. We have access to half of the global GDP. And China has, we can export, you know, much to China. I mean, how you're going to export, Chinese are more competitive. But even with what we can be able to access, markets we know about, because you export veg and all these things, is 50% of the global GDP. Global GDP is around $100+ trillion. We have access to $50 trillion of the global GDP, half. So 10 billion out of 50 trillion, it is doable if we organize ourselves. Of course, not everybody just sitting and, you know, waiting for us to do that. Everybody is looking at it, all right?
Have we taken advantage of that?
So there's a challenge.
Oh.
The fact that you have a market access,
Doesn't
duty-free, quota-free, doesn't mean that you're going to utilize it.
Why?
Because if you don't organize yourself, we have had AGOA for how many years? 24 years.
What does organizing ourselves look like?
I'll come to that.
Okay.
We've had access to AGOA
24 years.
24 years. If you look at the products or the tariff lines, tariff lines is the product that we had access to using AGOA, is 6,000 tariff lines. We utilized less than 6 at less than 10-20%.
What was the challenge?
We didn't even have a strategy on how to, a national strategy on implementation of AGOA. That was one of the requirements of AGOA agreement, that countries go and create a strategy on how to access the American market, and I think the American government was putting some money. We didn't put that, so we just, now we have access. Now let's sit back and let private sector do it. It doesn't work like that. Even the EU now, we have a head start before EU start bringing stuff in. But if we do the same thing that you've done before and expect a different outcome,
you're insane. It's described as insanity.
Yeah. So how do we have a strategy on how, even with the 10% tariff in the US, with duty-free access to the EU, how do we do it? That is exam question.
But why should it be an exam?
Because we need to sit down as to, remember I talked about when you have 3 ministries and to pull them together.
Yes.
That effort is unimaginable. All right? It's unimaginable. Coordination. Because you have to make sure you create competitiveness. So let me give you the proposal, slide 3.
Yes.
Slide 3, because that's what you're asking for. We said, in the whole of this value chain, where do you have a major problem? All right?
Yes.
And the major problem is in cotton primary production. But that's not the main problem, because Kenyan farmers are very robust. Just show them the offtake market and they will do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Ginning capability. So you get cotton, you take it to the factory, ginning factory, you get lint, and you start spinning and getting weaving and all that. When we were growing up, we had Kikomi. We had Raymond's. Rivertex was robust, and many others. Right now, I think we are left with very few, and especially the big ones that can do ginning and spinning, right? And that's why we're importing 85 billion, right? So we said, why is ginning capability, how can we grow ginning capability? And you say, ginning and spinning, right? And you say, because spinning also is a bottleneck. We said we have one company in Thika cotton mills. We have Rivertex, which the government is putting in money. And we said, the biggest challenge, remember what I said, little effort, big impact. We said, for us to unlock this, designate these companies from their current locations and give them a conditional incentive, and I say this deliberately, conditional incentive of preferential power rate, because that is the biggest problem they have. And because Naivasha, because of the geothermal wellheads, they say you'll get at 5 cents per dollar per kilowatt hour. And you're not going to uproot Rivertex from Eldoret to Naivasha. Someone has suggested that. Well, uproot it. And they say, I mean, it's going to cost more. All right? So designate Rivertex where they are and give them 5 cents of a dollar per kilowatt hour. But you also look at the savings and say, this savings here is for you to take cotton from farmers. So your incentive here is conditional, so that you don't go start investing luxury stuff, you know, or non-critical areas of operations. This is for cotton offtake. And the one in Thika, the same. The problem is, government now went to give farmers BT cotton. Now, BT cotton is producing much more than the old, you know, this is GMO cotton, producing more, right? But when you produce more and there's a bottleneck in offtake, farmers are going to be left with cotton. Right? Like I went to talk to a lady who had a very nice piece of land in Nyandarua and say, look, pyrethrum is coming back online because it's one of the crops that we're looking at. We used to be the leading in the world in pyrethrum.
Kenya?
Yes, Rwanda is now doing better than us, but we are not talking about pyrethrum. But I just wanted to say, I went and say, hey, why don't you do pyrethrum? And per kilo now is 500.
She said.
And I thought, just like the example that I gave for Turkana, and she said, so if those people of pyrethrum don't come and buy, am I going to feed my children or goats or ngombes to pyrethrum? My thesis was gone, you know? So you need to have structured markets of offtake of cotton for us to be able now to make sure farmers are making their money, and they don't want to plant cotton today and then tomorrow you don't offtake.
Yeah.
So government put money, even if you're going to, just like we put money on wheat and mahindi, because you're going to sell to these guys. So, or create a very good incentive for private sector to come and do that. All right. So that has not happened.
Why?
Okay, it's work in progress. All right, but still it is doable. So these are quick win. It can be done.
Okay.
So power, just rate of power. And that is a decision that can be made within an afternoon and say, these two companies, give them this concession. Government can put in money to pay for the difference to KPLC so that KPLC is not at loss. Because you know the impact that's going to bring.
Yes.
Right? And those are strategic investments. Low investments, but very impactful. Now, if we turn around our textile, Just by, look at this 20 billion that we use to import mutumbas. If you talk to people who import mutumbas, they will tell you that in most cases you find half the bill is waste. So these mutumbas is actually some countries dumping their waste. It's very, very difficult to do a circular economy on textile stuff, on apparels. So they dump. Poor Africans buy the bill, but half of it is waste. They are just disposing the waste. All right? So if we only cut and put very stringent measures to ensure what you're importing, we're not saying, because we are part of AGOA, so we cannot say you're not going to import mutumba. Rwanda said we don't. They were put out of AGOA, they said that's better. They are building a more robust local textile business. Because look at it, if we were only doing our local business, even without exporting, and we stop importation of 85 billion, it's much better.
Wait,
right?
there's no mutumba in Rwanda?
They said they don't accept. They said no. But you know, the lobbyists of mutumba are very strong in the US, so they were put out of AGOA. But everybody now is out of AGOA anyway. You know? So Rwandese were very bold.
Yeah.
They were very bold. And they said, we don't want.
Wow.
You know, you want to put us out of AGOA, that's fine.
Yeah.
They are doing much better. So we didn't. We have tariffs.
Oh.
But you're still importing. All right?
Yeah.
If you reduce just import of mutumba by 50%, the value of local textile business that you will see is unimaginable. Then we said, okay, so this sounds just like, you know, big companies exporting to the US. And what about everyone else? And remember, I say private sector doesn't mean big guys, is all of us. So I came up with a pet project. And I thought, I can speak to my team and then a few guys in the team and say, I think we can do this.
This is part of the slides.
No, this is now separate. Now
Okay.
when we got the question, say, this is only big guys who are going to do this thing. So how do we integrate women, girls, youth, SMEs into this? Okay? And we came up with a project. And we said, silk market globally is $40 billion. Silk. Okay?
The TAM.
The term.
The TAM. Okay.
Yes. Can we produce silk? I said yes.
We can?
Yes. How? Because you use silkworms or sericulture to produce silk, which you can do in this section that you're sitting in here.
The snails.
Not snail, there's some worms.
A worm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, is it worm?
Yeah, that one.
Whatever.
That thing.
They're all worm. Yeah.
At your small section here.
Yes.
You can do it.
You feed those worms, and they spit silk. They spit. All right? And we said, for impact, why don't we come up with a project? Again, dreaming big and say, let's mobilize 1 million women. Right?
To raise worms.
Everybody out of those 1 million. All right? What do they need? They need that cocoon to start with, and they can still do that as they do their chores. It does not stop them from doing anything.
Yeah.
So it's within it fits perfectly within their day-to-day.
Yeah.
And then mulberry leaves. Mulberry leaves is like,
Yes, and
yeah?
that fruit. That,
Yeah. So those leaves, you have someone who sells to women, or women can grow part of the vegetable side. You feed, and then we create an offtake mechanism, and we use the EPZ because we have many textile guys here, and some of them said yes, we can be able to even help to market. All right? So at that time we said, okay, this is a women agenda. We started, but we need an anchor. We need somebody who will verbalize it, and we mobilize, we call in government, we call in donors. And because the women agenda, at that time, and I have not looked at, we even looked at so you do the silk, then you do the handlooms, that are many in India, and there are people here who have them, and we went and saw them. There's actually people who can build them. And then they come together, a group in women, we regiment them together like, table banking. The way women are very organized, they come together. And then they are able to have one handloom that they can be able to use now to do a fabric. All right? And then look for the support. Where does the support come from? And we said, India comes in good because that's in their culture. So the ambassador of India was a woman, and we engaged and we said, this is what we want to do.
Yeah.
All right? And then he said, 18 strongest embassies in Kenya are led by women, including the US government then and the UK.
Yes.
So we're now looking at that. We have 18 ambassadors who are women. We sell this idea, but we need an anchor. We need one woman anchor in Kenya. So people, it didn't go far because people disagreed on, who is this person?
Yes.
Is there one person who has this aura of encouragement to women who can be able to champion this? Outside politics, because the moment you touch a politician now, everything collapses.
Yeah.
So it took a bit of time.
Okay.
But I still think it's a very valid,
Wait, it didn't happen?
It didn't happen, but there's someone. I'm glad someone invested in that.
Wait, I'm waiting
to
for
do a
this
POC. So we did someone invested and did doing a POC. POC. I don't have the authority to name. Proof of concept.
Yeah.
I don't have the authority to name. To mention their name. Yeah. So, but this is something that can be done.
Wait,
we had a company. One company in Makueni. A lady who came from the US, she's doing that, and she has empowered 3,000 women to do that. So there was a use case. There was already a use case. But we wanted to go national, Because the moment you do that, you involve now everybody across the breadth of the country in textile and export business, as opposed to international companies or Bangladeshi companies here, or that have come and invested here and then they are exporting.
You want to tell me that didn't happen?
It didn't happen. It didn't happen because I think it's still valid.
Because then all this...
You see, those ideas, and that's why we wanted to anchor it elsewhere, because I didn't have the resources or bandwidth.
Yes.
In fact, it didn't sell to many people, because people, once you start talking about in that kind of a setup where I was, you start talking about the small one, then people say, look, you're driving your own agenda. But we wanted to sell that now to somebody who runs with it, and we provide the support. I still think it's very valid that we can mobilize young people, women, girls, to do that job. Because people are looking for silk. It's not even available.
People are looking first for jobs.
Yeah.
Something you can do with your time after high school, after university.
Yeah.
And if you said it's just this little piece, that's even like your balcony.
Yeah.
It's really just a balcony.
Exactly. So if we don't have these hard conversations and hard to do stuff, because it's not easy to mobilize a million women.
Only if there's goodwill.
If there's goodwill and people come together, we do it.
Yeah.
Right? And this is how we're going to grow this country, because where we are, we have to do things. Remember, we're talking about doing this unusually.
Yes.
Let's look at leather. To also tick the boxes.
Yes.
Everybody has a cow, or everybody has a sheep.
Someone who does.
Majority of the people anyway have them. And we looked at the value again, big value. But let's just localize the value of leather as we see today.
Okay.
Employ 17,000 people, informal sector. A lot of our value chain is export-oriented of raw materials.
That's current status.
Current status.
Okay.
So how does it work? So we are collecting very few hides and skins, because that infrastructure, and when I was growing up, I could see people in the villages collecting. We used to actually have many warehouses full of hides and skins, because that business, it's things that were happening in 1970s and 80s. But now, if you slaughter in a tupo, and let me just step back and give you just the value of of a hide. Not the value as a hide.
Yes.
But if you add value, what it means. A hide is about 50 square feet.
A
Average.
hide ni skin ya
Ya ng'ombe.
Ya ng'ombe.
Ya
Okay.
ng'ombe. Your skin, the smaller ones, skin. 50 square feet. If you do men's shoes like this, and you sell at 5,000, you'll get 20.
From
the
one?
hide. Yes.
One.
Yes.
How many pairs?
20.
20 pairs?
Yes. So it's 100,000. Okay? Meat max 60 maybe meat. So which one is valuable? Is a hide. Right?
Yes. Oh, yes, the skin.
If you take the same hide to the US, it's about 3,800 US dollars.
As is.
As is.
And here
And I think
is-
more than that, I think they do that, you know.
And here, how much is it? More than, really? The one in
I think they
Nanyuki?
do that, yeah. So we have said the basic shoe. 5,000 is a basic shoe. Men shoes, they're
Very
very
basic.
expensive. Very basic. You know, in terms of, you know, we go to the shops. A lot of them are not even leather. But just move your imagination forward from the shoe, man's shoe, to Gucci bag, leather bag.
So, hide, shoes, 20 pairs. That's male shoes. Gucci bags. And now you were telling us about private jets. Like
Or yachts.
the boats. Okay.
You know? So it is very expandable.
Okay.
All right? So when you see the hide, it's about how can we add value to this hide to get to the extreme, you know, side. And you know, you can make as much as you want.
Yes.
So what again are the quick wins? What are strategic bets? And by the way, Kenya has the third largest herd of livestock in Africa, after Ethiopia and Botswana. Okay? So raw materials are there.
But
But we don't know it's gold. We are sitting on gold that we don't know it's gold.
so when we kill cows.
When you
for-
kill cows, in fact, I remember in that meeting that I mentioned, and I said, I think, Your Excellency, I think we need to start a campaign so that we slaughter cows for hides, not for meat. Meat becomes a byproduct.
Not the main.
Not the main. Not the main. Because this 50 square feet hide can give you times 10 or 100, depending on how you add value. And since we used to aggregate the skins and hides in 70s, 80s, and 90s,
What changed?
why can't we do that?
Yeah.
All right? So what changed? It's the imports. All
Or
right?
rather, who's doing it?
So what they do, and it's a very sad situation,
Yeah.
because we are, yes, able to collect skins, that is goat skin, sheep skin, but the hides is a problem. We are actually importing hides from Rwanda.
Kenya.
Kenya is importing hides.
Why?
If you go to our slaughterhouses, and I think we have about 68 big ones, including Bureaucracy. We have about 200 smaller ones or 300 smaller ones. We have about 1,500 slaughter slabs. You know, slaughter slabs are this really small.
Like Kiamaiko.
Kiamaiko could be moderate, all right?
Oh.
But let's look at Bureaucracy.
Okay. So
Bureaucracy is ostensibly supposed to be under a ministry, State Department of Livestock. That is DVS, that is Department of Veterinary Services. So they do about 700 cows
per day?
per day,
Okay.
but you get zero raw material. Okay? One is about the flaying, you know, they say slaughtering, you know, what you call changing. It's called flaying.
Oh.
Removing the skin, you know,
Oh,
or the
okay.
hide. Flaying.
Flaying.
If you cut the hide, it becomes useless.
You're supposed to remove it like as one big piece.
Nicely, yes.
Oh, there's
And they are flaying knives.
Huh?
And they are flaying knives.
Okay.
You don't use the potato, you know, peeling knife to, you know. They are flaying knives that don't cut the hide. The moment you cut the hide, it has become useless.
Really?
Yes. And what happens to that hide? Now it's exported out or smuggled out as food, you know, in West African countries.
Food for whom?
West African countries, they consume a lot of that.
In their food?
It's part of food.
It's part
Even
of
as we eat when you're eating the head of a
a
goat,
goat.
or a head of a cow, you know? And we like it. So why don't we also make
so
it
it's a staple in West African cuisine,
I
eh?
mean, I have to be I've been in Abuja, and I ate it in a 5-star hotel. A
Wow.
very nice pepper soup
Eh.
that has skins and, you know, very nice.
Right.
It's just creativity within West Africa.
Yes.
But you see, this is not supposed to be like that. So a quick win is stop the export of raw materials because they don't have enough. So what happens? And you can see how Ethiopia has done with their leather sector.
How has it done?
Oh, you go to Ethiopia, they do jackets, they do bags, they do many products.
Made in Ethiopia.
Made in Ethiopia, in a market full of leather.
What?
Oh, Ethiopia is way advanced. Way advanced.
Than
in terms
we are.
Oh, by far.
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia. Oh my. In fact, if you have a friend going to Ethiopia, just tell them to buy you something leather. Very, very advanced. And it's sold everywhere. You know? They don't import these things that we import here.
And we are importing.
We import footwear worth 10 billion shillings every year.
Say that again.
10 billion shillings worth of footwear.
Footwear.
Yes.
We import.
Yeah.
Kenya.
Yeah.
Yet
10
we are
billion.
the third largest. What did you say?
Livestock, you know,
Yes.
hard. Right? All right?
Yes.
So that's a quick win. Little effort is a strike of the pen in Parliament to say, like Ethiopians have done, the export duty for Ethiopia, wet blue, I'll come and give you a bit of value chain on the hide,
Yeah.
is 150%
If you export,
if you export.
you pay the government 150%
Yes.
duty.
Kenya used to be at 85%. We said, keep it there. Some guys lobbied, it was brought to 50%.
And that's meant to block or hinder or us from
It is supposed
exporting.
to discourage
Yes.
export of raw materials because we don't have enough. So in fact, put it at 200%, all right? And then mop it up. You create the value chain. So from the hide, it is processed to a wet blue, crust, and then finished products. So the most we do, even what we process, is wet blue and crust.
Why do we stop there?
Because there is a ready market for
Wet
wet
blue.
blue. In fact, a lot of Vietnam do a lot of, Nike is very big in Vietnam. And one of the use cases we're looking at is Nike, they get, because our wet blue goes to Vietnam. So they said, if this wet blue leather is coming from Kenya, why don't we go and make these shoes from Kenya?
Nike.
Yes, they came.
They make their shoes here.
They came. But you know, the Kipindi in this town, what the international companies are taken through.
Well,
We'll take
I'm
you to
even
this
afraid
one,
of
we'll take
asking.
Take you to this one, we'll take you to this one, we'll take you to this one. You know, this is
The effort in coordinating that you spoke about.
effort for those companies, and they're coming to invest. It is mind-boggling.
They
And Hadithi, mind-boggling.
do they?
So they gave up that. Okay. Yeah, they're doing it in Vietnam. In fact, we shouldn't even be waiting for them to come. We should be knocking doors. And I remember I was speaking to the newly appointed ambassadors when they, and I used to do that even at KQ many years ago. Excuse me. So that they know what are Kenyan interest from the private sector perspective. Because we are the ones doing business.
Yes.
Government does not do business. We are the ones doing business. So, and I was telling the ones who went and say, look, Balozis, you know your salespeople, right? You know your salespeople. You go to sell a country and you go to sell country's products. And how Rwanda does it? Rwanda does it in a very, very strategic way.
How?
They knock doors. If they want Starbucks, they're getting more value for their tea and coffee than ourselves. If you want your coffee to be taken by Starbucks, the whole infrastructure, including the president, will be knocking the door of the president of Starbucks in the US and say, this is what we want. We want to do business with you. Yeah, that's what they do. Look at how they advertise Visit Rwanda.
Yeah.
Even with Arsenal and
yes,
it is very deliberate. They knock doors to those organizations. And I was telling the ambassador, knock these doors. Go to Nike every day until you see the president of Nike. But be sure, by the time they are saying that it's a go, your infrastructure in Nairobi, bureaucracy does not start creating problems.
Yes.
They create a lot of problems.
Because I was going to ask that. So you go get the president of Nike here, and he goes through the whole again.
I mean, they have no appetite for that. I mean, look, the companies, and I was saying that before, I don't want to repeat that. Those companies are big,
Yeah.
It is you to go to them, not them to come to you. They can operate without you. How many people are buying those high-level Nike shoes here? So, but you need them.
Yes.
Because they can greatly add the value of your hide.
And job creation.
And job creation. You need them.
Yeah.
And there are many other smaller ones. You don't even have to go to the big ones. So have a list of all the guys who add value and say, come, this is what we are going to give you. And because you know the impact, you craft that, incentive program for them. That is how countries work it out. That's how China was able to get corporate America to them. That is what happens.
Who does the buck stop with, Anthony? Because, fine, I hear you and I can totally relate to the many stops you have to go, the many office doors you have to knock just to get, alignment on anything. But the buck stops with who?
I wouldn't want to say the buck stops with. It is all of us. It's all of us. It's all of us. What you're doing is to put the story out there in terms of saying, we are crying we don't have jobs, but have we done enough? Have we peeled the onion enough to create those jobs? Of course, the buck stops with the government, all right? But here we are saying it's not a blame game. And even the exercise we are doing at that time is to say, government, this is the addressable total available market. This is what is addressable by us as Kenyans. You do not require anyone else other than ourselves to say, we are going to sit and look at how we are going to educate people, and how we are going to make sure that, just like in 1970s and 80s, people, when they slaughter, how to preserve the skin of the goat or the sheep and the hide of a cow. And we say, look, State Department of Livestock, what is so difficult for us going to
grassroots communities?
Not even that. Dagoretti. It's here. We will actually provide flaying knives to them, free of charge. And the companies have provided flaying knives to Kajiado County. And a lot of the hide that's coming from Kajiado is good.
For export.
Now, this is not for processing, for export red blue, all right? Which also, you just need a completion. The completion, you set up a factory, and then you complete. We wrote, actually, to the governor, I don't know how to say which county, and we say, Your Excellency would like to visit you. We will come with 200 flaying knives. We will buy the cows. We'll demonstrate how to flay. And the people eat the meat. We tell the government, join us. The country never responded. Because it's a big county with a lot of livestock, but what comes out as a raw material is minimal. So we come, we buy the cows, we show you how to flay, and the people eat the meat. We eat the meat together.
We celebrate this
We celebrate
knowledge.
this. And we distribute flaying knives to the county. But anyone who has a slaughter slab, anyone who has a... So that then the hide is not cut. Because once you cut it, it's not useless.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
And then we show them how to preserve the hide. Do not sun dry. Do not, there's some special salt you apply and it doesn't go bad.
Okay.
All right? Don't feed it to the dogs. This is raw materials. Right? And then we say, how do we offtake it? How do we create that value chain for offtake? These are things within our control. Nobody stops us from saying, because we have the third largest livestock herd in Africa, we're not going to import footwear. Nobody.
No.
Yeah.
The two can coexist anyway.
Yeah, the two you can limit.
Yes.
You know? Now, Karioko, there is a common user facility that was done by government. They spend a lot of money. And actually can do 80,000 shoes.
80,000
a month. But it has remained unused. The county government of Nairobi, the State Department of Livestock squabbling who owns this facility. And it's a lot of, in excess of about 5 billion. It's there. And you are saying, give us access to this thing. We mobilize the SMEs to come. Now you go around that Karioko, you find now people are doing, we do a lot of sandals, a lot of stuff. Creative, with their own hands. All right? And then we look at how, you see the way young Maasais go with belts and shoes, and we mobilize and ensure quality control. And these products that are handcrafted are very valuable, even in these overseas markets.
Yes.
But how do we help them to consolidate? How is it that a person in Karioko market selling Chinese stuff can be able to import goods from 400 kilometers out of Guangzhou without ever going to China? And they pick them from Karioko. And we are able to consolidate our products, our leather products being done by Wasonyiro, other places, to the US market. I mean, there are people importing stuff from China. But our system usually mostly import, oriented. How do we create together export-oriented aggregation? These are things within our control. You just need ownership and you need passion.
I think people are passionate. Mwananchi, you see, when they have this knowledge, they're passionate. But then what's the place of regulation? Because
aggregation, at the point of saying, now we are organizing our Wananchi, that is what is lacking. Right? That's what is lacking. That infrastructure.
Yes.
It comes with policy. It comes with KRA and certificate of origin. Where is that? An individual like yourself and myself are unlikely able to navigate through that maze.
Yes.
Because it's a maze.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a maze.
It is.
So if I was in charge of trade, because we have ministry in charge of trade.
Yes.
So if we said, if you're in charge of trade in the bank, you're in charge of trade finance, then your KPI is how much money have you loaned out for trade finance. Can we ask that for the Minister of Trade, say, how much trade have you facilitated? Because that is your job. If you're an embassy, Kenyan embassy, can you be able to quantify what you have, a KPI, a smart KPI, and say, because forget about the political diplomatic stories of saying friendship. Those countries don't care about friendship. They care about trade. You know, even the policy that they enact, only us, we think that we engage with countries because we love each other. Those countries engage because of trade.
Yes.
Because of opportunities. So, is there within the KPI of our investment that you've put in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and all the embassies? What is the return on investment by Kenyans? Those are the questions we should ask ourselves. So it's economic diplomacy. So we can say it's economic diplomacy stupid. Nothing else. Yeah, you know? If you are not delivering goods and investments, then what are you doing there? We have access to $50 trillion, market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Half the world's
GDP. So what are we doing with it? Who is supposed to show us?
Who's responsible for the results? The accountability thing. Like, I feel like it's always up in the air.
Someone has to build the bridge. Private sector will do it, but I'll do it for my company. I don't build the bridge for everyone else. In fact, in most cases, you find private sector, when they get a window, they don't talk about it because that's your cash cow. Oh. Right? But somebody has to create the bridge and the road to connect Kenya and the EU market. Who is doing that? What products? What is the addressable market? What is serviceable market? What are these products that have, what certifications do we require? What are these bodies that we can use to help Kenya? How is our export infrastructure? If you want to export an avocado today, it's a nightmare.
Why?
You have agencies and agencies layering of agencies.
for avocado.
Any product.
For export.
And that's why you see people even move avocado to Tanzania to export it to Europe. Or
What
to other
do you
places.
mean?
Yes.
What?
Because of the layering. Yeah.
So you'd rather put
Move
avocados in a lorry.
You move it to TZ, then export it.
From TZ?
I mean, there are 46 loops that you need to jump before you export.
Literally, 46? Or as in your...
No, we mapped out, yeah.
46?
Yeah.
In Kenya?
So just collapse all these and create an agency, one agency. Right? So before you navigate that, you're out of gas. You run out of gas.
Is that why these lorries that we see leaving Kenya, going to TZ, because I would imagine they're taking food there, until I read comments from, the podcast we did last, where you said actually we import maize from Tanzania. And I'm like, what? Tanzania feeds us. One of the countries that feeds us, just wheat. But when you tell me that the bottlenecks and, 46 of them to just import whatever it is we want
to
export, yes, export. And TZ doesn't have that,
I mean, it's easier. When you see a business person moving products via DA, then it tells you how difficult it is. In fact, they say, if you want to know how difficult it is to do business, buy a pickup truck or a Pro Box.
Okay.
Forget about the bigger trucks. You will never pass a police roadblock. Never. Because now that's a commercial vehicle. Okay? Start a small thing. And one of the recommendations, so we are not just pontificating. You're saying one of the recommendations that we gave in the overall business to ensure that MSMEs get into the business is to say all these bodies, VAT registration, turnover tax, cabs, only apply to an SME that has existed for 5 years. If I want to do this water, and I told my story about water, it took me 2 years. By the time you're done, you don't even want to do that business. You're tired.
Even the water,
You're tired.
2 years.
2 years. Before you navigate county, you navigate NEMA, you navigate cabs, you navigate KRA. And then now you go to the market. And the market is not just waiting and smiling at you.
You have to market.
You are tired of this business. It's only that you started, you can't stop, and you've paid some money. After the end of the process, you say, I don't even want to do this business. And then you realize there are people actually who are doing it without going through that process. So enforcement is not there. If you want to do the right thing, it takes you forever. But then you go to the market and realize people are using fake stamps, fake cabs, fake, You want to do the right thing, but your cost of production, they're selling almost 30% below you because they went behind
so it forces that. That lack of ethics.
That forces that.
Yes.
But even for the people who want to go through the door and clean, you can't compete. So then you ask yourself, so entrepreneurship in this is difficult. Entrepreneurship in this market is extremely difficult.
But I hear in Rwanda it's easier?
Very. I mean, you do it, you register a company in 24 hours, you have your company with all this documentation.
All of this?
Yeah. So those are the recommendations. Okay, quick wins. SMEs, why are you subjecting a 0-day SME into a KEBS process, into a KRA process, into a NEMA process? They're not manufacturing, lead batteries, harmful products. They're doing a restaurant, but they have to go to NEMA and pay almost, 0.1% of the value.
My God. Do you think the system is rigged to oppress us?
I mean, the system has just been layering itself. Layering itself. The system is all about the preservation of the system.
Yeah.
So agencies are protecting themselves from revenue standpoint. So everyone is charging.
Yeah.
But no service. So what do you need,
So and that's how Ethiopia, let's actually go to that example. Like you said, they're way. I haven't been to Ethiopia.
Oh, Ethiopia is way, the dam they are doing, the dam is 5,000 megawatts. Grand Renaissance Dam. Grand project. And they have another one they're doing for 2,000 megawatts.
Do we have any like that?
They sell power to us.
Who?
Ethiopia. They sell power to Sudan, they sell power to South Sudan, they're selling power to Egypt, they're in the business of selling power. So the power cost in Ethiopia, remember when we're doing, and by the way, we analyze, so I've given you textile leather, we analyze all the sectors, we went to the specific subsectors, edible oils, salt, sugar, maize, and all of them have documents, this size in terms of implementation metrics, quick wins, strategic bets, year one, this was supposed to happen. We did all that. So it's just to pick it
and implement. And that hasn't happened. Sugar, salt.
I don't want to go into the details of but we did, So it's not about just saying or thinking what the government should. No. It is crafting and saying. A lot of those things, if you look at them, is just policy. There's a bill that was left in Parliament. Look at the counties, for instance. And last time we talked about how you move goods from one county to another. So you're producing salt in Kilifi.
Okay.
And you need to move that salt to Seaport. Or to Kisumu.
Okay.
Or to Homabay.
Okay.
All right? Now, if you have a truck written K-salt or Ken salt or whoever, you're going to pay all these counties branding of that vehicle. All right? You're going to pay. That's why counties now there is a barrier. Every county you're moving from, there is a barrier. I think it's only Nairobi that doesn't have a barrier. There's a barrier. And a big post there, welcome to this county.
Yes.
You go to the meetings, there's 48 nations, one country. but you're breaking down the AFCFTA walls. But inside you, so the county licensing, I think they call it harmonized or whatever bill, it is still out there from 2016. Has not happened, right? Harmonization of all those, all right? If you look at the vehicles, for instance, if you look at, again, Ethiopia, you can see this country how very strategic they are. I've told you about leather. They have put 150% export duty if you want to export raw materials. So they add value within Ethiopia, all right? And then you look at the electric cars now is a big thing, all right? They do not allow you to import gasoline car. If you want to import, it has to be an EV.
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia. Very progressive. Very strategic. Ethiopia is going to be the biggest operator of EVs
In Africa.
Now us, we have an appetite for big cars. Guzzlers.
Yeah.
Maybe you copy America, you know? Europe is small cars. I mean, you go to Europe, you don't see these big cars, right? We say it's road, but we have an appetite for the big ones. But look at our spend on fuel. To power our appetite for big cars, we spent between $8 billion to $10 billion importing fuel. We almost invest the same to import cars. So we are building the economies in Middle East. All right? We are building economies in Japan and Dubai and others, importing vehicles. It's the biggest import. Instead of building trains and trams and non-motorized transport, so that we stop with everyone driving to the office.
You can use a bicycle.
You can walk.
Yeah.
But now how are you going to walk? If there are no motorized, lane and all that.
Yes.
So Ethiopia is building very, very, very consistently their capabilities to build EVs. For us, we just need to change a regulation, legal notice, LN 84, to include electric vehicles into.
And
we do commercial vehicles, for instance. All right? We do commercial vehicles. So trucks. But you're also importing trucks. One of the things that we're pushing very hard is to say, reduce the number of years to 3, so that whatever we make here is almost comparable with what is coming.
yeah.
All right?
So it's competitive, yes.
So just the implementation of KS 1515. But you can follow it up for years. It has been doing for years. Just because there's some guys with an interest there. So you don't look at the national interest, you look at individual interest. Granted, some of them are subject to court cases. But even these court cases can be solved. Because I remember in one case, we even went to the point of reaching out to the litigant to say, look, this is hurting the country. What is it we can do together? What are your concerns? And by the way, the concerns that they had were things that could be addressed within the bill. And now you say the ministry we even got into a meeting. Say, I'm going to withdraw the case so that this can go on, but I also have spent some money in filing the case, which is things that can be agreed upon.
Yeah.
So how do we deal with that? And because it is strategic for Kenya, you do whatever it needs to be done, So those are the missing links. There are many dances happening, but there's no, there's not the orchestra. If it is all these things in the ministries, within the ministry, there's a choir master within the ministry, choir with the industry, we are doing this this is not for individual companies, it's all of us. We're doing this for Kenya. So what needs to be done by when? That's what Rwanda does. Solve problems.
Yes.
The problem is that when you go for a meeting, you want people to say all the nice things. And when I was working for the airline, the Director General of IATA, the Global Airline Association, was called Giovanni Bisignani, used to say, shouting politely.
Okay.
All right? Instead of just saying what the minister, the PS want to hear, the government officials what they want to hear, you shout, but you shout politely. Let's do, forget about the diplomatic mubujambo. If something needs to work, this is a solution. We require the timelines. Both the private sector and public sector must be attuned to achieving those timelines. Some of these things, policy instruments that can help the country, should not be in perpetuity. We have parliament. We're able to sit with parliament and say, parliament, we sit with them and say, this one needs to be fixed, and they put in the finance bill. But you find the effort is not there from the ministries, to be able to fix some of these things.
Yeah.
So the stories get convoluted because a random person, when you talk about stakeholders, stakeholders is people with a stake.
Yeah.
A lot of, and the real stake. But we have a lot of dealers. They are there. So they appear as if their stake in the whole of this, takes the day.
Their stake takes the day.
Takes the day.
Does anybody care? You see, fine, you can have your deals, but at some point you have to weigh and see, by the end of this quarter three, my ministry or my department has been able to uplift the lives of this percentage, this youth percentage, this group of women here, as opposed to it feels like everybody's just, allegedly just, focused on their own self-interests. Those secrets you're telling, well, they're not even supposed to be a secret, about the hide and 20 pairs of shoes and there's a special knife. I know it could be a husband somewhere watching and saying, what? Yeah. You mean these are billions here? And then fine, they do that until they get to the block, because now that process, you said, takes 2 years by the time even your cows are dead. Yeah. So my point is, who out there, does anyone care? Are we living in this, it's not even a bubble, it feels like we live in a different simulation where you hear of countries like Ethiopia. We grew up reading about the wars between Ethiopia and Eritrea. Rwanda, the genocide. This country that just got these young presidents. Is it, which one? Burkina Faso or Senegal? Burkina Faso. Yeah. This,
within a very short time.
You can start to see some things that, they're doing. So what about us? Because we used to be the star of Africa.
We're very good in crafting strategies. And we have a lot of nice, it's in the public domain. Everybody says that, we have beautiful documents, gathering dust. What I think we've lacked, and when I look at Better Plan, it's very progressive. But I think and you can see the good intentions, but I think the implementation layer is where the challenges are. Implementation layer. Follow through.
Who needs to whip that into shape?
Follow through.
Yeah.
So we looked at agricultural value chains. And some of them are even shameful. Like peanuts. I keep on talking about peanuts because it's a small thing,
Why?
Peanuts. We import 90% of peanuts from Malawi.
We import?
Yes. And if you go to places, Migori, Homa Bay, when you visit someone, they give you a gorogoro of peanuts. But you're not doing it at scale, at industrial scale. So we import Malawi, Argentina, India, Why? Actually, there are 2 Kenyans who fixed the value chain in Malawi.
They moved there?
Yes. We import maize from Malawi.
Maize.
And the former president of Malawi was based at the UN, Bingwa Mutharika. He learned all these things from Kenya. Look at KMC. Botswana is one of the biggest, supplier of beef to the world.
Okay.
Not the world, but they export quite a bit. They learned from here, from KMC, from Kenya. But we were unable to manage KMC. It's now in debt.
There's a country you said also took their blueprint from us?
Yeah.
Which one?
Malaysia, and this is not reading in books. This is, I was there in the meeting, and the minister is telling us how they borrowed Nairobi master plan, blueprint, to build Kuala Lumpur, And he told us they improved, that was version 0. They did version 1, 2, up to 9. So when they got to 9, it became defaced, right? So they came to Kenya to get another copy. That is a minister of a government telling us in Malaysia. And Kenya had lost the copy. So they went back, enhanced what has defaced, gave us a copy. So the question was, I hope you still have the copy, right, in jest. At that time when we were there, that's around 2010, actually the government, they had moved now the government headquarters from Kuala Lumpur to a place called Putrajaya. And it's part of the master plan, different versions of the master plan.
Yeah, they got from here.
From here. All right? So we have all the ingredients. We have the ingredients here. Each and every sector. I went to see a farmer in Moibeni the other day. And I just wanted to see, what's happening, and the crop looks very good. So,
what do they plant?
So maize,
okay.
Right? Rain is there, fertilizer they got from government, which is a good thing the government did. But when I look at the large scale, and we're just having that conversation because of the large scale, and their neighbors, and I was asking questions about, when I look at your crop and I look at your neighbor's crop, yours is very, very different.
Yeah.
So how much yield are you expecting from your acre? 35 bags minimum. Of maize per acre. How much do you think this crop from your neighbor who has 2 acres will get? Maybe 8, maybe 9. All right? So if we brought the knowledge of these two farmers, whether you have a small piece or a big, large scale, to the same level of production, all right? Same level of production, that it means that that farmer will actually start looking for more land because they'll make money. But then, at the point of selling the maize, the big farmer has a warehouse, okay? They're not under pressure from school fees, medical, cows, all those things that farmers are faced with. So then they'll wait for the right price and they'll negotiate with the miller directly.
Without brokers?
Without brokers. And the miller will go there, the owner of the mill. And these are big millers, right? The neighbor has harvested below optimal, 8 bags. Yeah. They have to sell immediately because most likely the children...
to make ends meet.
Right? And there is a solution that we have all these NCPB warehouses everywhere, where that farmer, instead of selling 2,500, and that is a cost actually, but that time you're not looking at the cost, you're looking at money. I'd rather sell at cost, but I pay school fees.
Yeah.
But if you created a model where there is an off-take, there's an off-take mechanism, and I know there are many conversations about, warehouse receipt and all that, but farmers cannot wait forever.
No.
They will sell to the broker. Broker offers, intravenous solution, offers an aspirin,
Make sure you're not collapsing.
Yeah. What I need is to pay school fees. I don't care about all these other nice things that you're talking about. But if they need, deliver this maize to an NCPB warehouse or an aggregator taking to NCPB and they get paid, they'll give you fair value. Once you help the farmer to produce more through education, and then you help them to know the market, these 35 bags they produce per acre, next year now they will go and do 3 acres. Go around even that region, you'll see a lot of free land that has not been planted.
Where is Moiben?
Eldoret, in North Rift. Yeah.
So it's...
So solutions are there. It can be done. We used to do it. You know, I grew up in a place where our cooperative society, we were doing wool from the sheep. We were doing milk aggregation. We were doing potatoes. We even had new tractors. We had a truck for produces. We had, and every 2nd of February, the community used to meet, offer prayer for the farm, and slaughter about 20 cows that were owned by the society, the cooperative society. We had, you know, stocks of, you know, Kenya Farmers Association shops where you go and take your inputs, your fertilizer, your pesticides, your insecticide, everything was there. But now there's nothing like that.
What happened to that, you know?
Obviously, that, you know, that was, you know, the second regime. A lot of things collapsed then. You know, Pyrethrum collapsed. You know, those farm association collapsed. You know, a lot of things, KCC collapsed. You know, so there are a lot of things that can be done.
But things don't just collapse on their own unless you're
They're collapsed by people. Things don't just collapse.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Poor management.
Poor management. I think we close this segment at that point. Then you're okay with that? Then we open up the new segment. We have a lot. If you're the one in this room and you're listening to this man directly like this, hey, yeah, you feel like there's a lot we need to do in this country. But the last segment, which will go up in a couple of days, we just want to look at solutions. And I think my big question will be, where is the hope? And because it just can't be, we are leaving the country, we are going to other countries, we see what's happening there. The world has become very noisy. But in our own small spaces, in our own ways, in our communities, what can we do? You know, and which sectors can we perhaps take advantage of with the little that we have, with the much that we now know? So I am grateful you made time for this segment, and we shall see you at the next one.